Here goes another episode of You Have to Meet My Friends. Yesterday, I had an incredible conversation with one of my buddies, James Dixon. He answered on the first ring, which was great because on this episode, I call my friends randomly and they don't know they're on the podcast till they're on the podcast. But yesterday on my soundboard, this is not funny to James, but we had the whole conversation. It was amazing. It was so inspiring, but I only got it because his mic was on mute. So I took the mic off of mute today, and you're going to hear from some of my friends. I call them randomly. Sometimes I get skunked, but this is You Have to Meet My Friends. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
We will get, sometimes we will get skunked because I call my friends randomly. I have my trusty phone right here. If you do have your phone with you and you're watching right now or you're listening, you can actually call me and then you'll be on the podcast, which I think is kind of cool, but I love surprising my friends. And so what I want to do is, we just had a episode that I just recorded. It was about walking light, being full of joy, laughter, just having a good time. Like in your life, being present where you're at, all those things. And this came from my inspiration from my Uncle Sam. And he gave me those words a couple years ago. But I think what's so cool is I have a friend that is one of the foremost in fundomism. This guy is Paul J. Long. And hopefully he answers his phone because I'm calling him.
What is good? You've reached Paul Long with Fundomism. Leave your name, number, and your first celebrity crush, and I'll be sure to get right back to you. Make it a great day.
My man. So I'll try and call him again. But again, on these episodes, sometimes I call and I get an answer. Sometimes I call and I get skunked. So I'm going to try him one more time just to, this is that stalker girlfriend thing, where if you just call them a second time, sometimes they'll pick up. So let's see if he was just call screening us.
What is good? You've reached Paul Long with Fundomism.
Oh, he's wrapped up right now, but he'll call us back here in a little bit. But if, like I said, if you've experienced this kind of this episode before, it's just been an amazing one. I'm actually going to call somebody because I got this is my brother. He's an incredible producer. He did the commercial for our, and just had a baby. So let's see if Mr. B-Rad, Uncle Brad, see if he answers this morning. I bet he's out golfing though.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
That's the second skunk on it. So let's go to, you know what? Let's call this guy. This is my best friend since 4th grade. You'll absolutely love him. And we'll,
Sup?
what are you doing, man?
Chilling, man.
Awesome. You feeling good?
Just posting up. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Say hello to the audience because you're on the podcast, Willie.
Oh, man. I knew I shouldn't have answered.
I got him. What's on the docket for today, man?
Just hanging with my kids, man.
That's good.
Not much. Cleaning the house. Just doing normal single dad stuff.
My daughter said that she wanted to commission you for a painting last night.
Nice, I'm in.
So she was all about it. She's like, she wants to show you the size of her wall and then for you to do it. I wish you could, you know what? I can actually send you a link if you can get on, because I love for people to see your face. If you can't, it's completely fine. But
Oh yeah, no, it's just too early, man.
hey, dude, check this out though, man. You know what I'm holding right now?
What's that?
3 cards. If you can guess what these cards would be, I don't know what I would do for you. I'd just be your friend. They would make
3
you laugh.
cards.
They'd make you laugh.
Sports cards?
No.
3 cards.
Still collectibles.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Yes. Which ones am I holding up?
Let's see. Oh man. Let's see.
How did you get that one?
Because you're the only person I knew that loved the Garbage Pail Kids when we were young.
I just found them. They're on my shelf in my podcast room. And okay, but I've got 3 of them in my hand. Which ones do you think I got?
All right. Atom Bomb.
Don't have that one. That one's a great one though. That was one of the most iconic because that
was the first one, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Was that number 1?
It wasn't the first one. But you're close though. That one I can't remember which one it was. Hey, hold on for a second. We're gonna bring in a friend. You're gonna meet a friend real quick, okay?
All right.
All right. Paul J. Long.
Here I am.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. What are you doing? Surfing or biking or rapping or?
Well, I'm doing something. Hold on for 1 second, okay? Hold for 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Paul, are you there?
I am.
Will, are you there?
Indeed.
Paul, this is my best friend since 4th grade, Will Simmons. Will, this is one of the baddest keynote speakers on the planet, Paul J. Long. So get this. Paul, you don't know this, but Will, can you tell him what we're doing right now?
We're talking about Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, but tell
on
him.
a podcast.
Yeah, tell him that. Ask it. But you got to tell him. Are we on? What are we on right now?
You're on mushrooms.
We're on the Kelly Cardenas podcast. Man.
Yes, we're on. You're on the
you for
podcast.
real?
Yes, Paul. So,
That's incredible.
okay, Paul. We are holding up Garbage Pail Kids. So, what if you could tell me what? Will still has 2 guesses. If you could tell me what 3 Garbage Pail Kids are being held up, then we'll do something for you. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll do it for your audience. Will, you got 2 more guesses?
Yeah.
What
I'm
do you
gonna
got?
go with Alligator.
Okay. And what's the other one?
Valerie Vomit.
Valerie Vomit. No, you didn't get. He got Atom Bomb. What do you
Bomb.
what do you got? What do you got, Paul?
Hot Rodriguez.
Hot Rodriguez.
Yeah.
That was really a Garbage Pail Kid.
Yeah. How about Art Gallery?
Art Gallery. That one was one. Keep going. You got one more guess.
I got one more guess.
One more.
Let's see here. Sunburny.
Sunburny. No. So I'm going to tell you guys, I actually have the card 1A Nasty Nick in my hand right now. Nasty Nick.
Is
And
that the one that looked like Eddie Munster?
yeah, and he's biting a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And then I've got Wacky Jackie, because that was my mom's name. And I've got Smelly Kelly. I can't believe you didn't get that one.
Oh.
Got Smelly Kelly. Hey, so
What about Leaky Lindsay? You remember her? She had the runny nose.
hey, Will.
Oh man.
Will, did you know about Hot Rodriguez? I mean, that one's kind of borderline, right?
Yeah.
That's
Well, in the early '80s, you could probably get away with that.
okay. So the reason why I
Hey,
call
can I just say that I cheat? Kelly, real quick.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, go.
I cheated. I just pulled up Garbage Pail Kids, and I just read the first ones that came up.
Hey, Willie. So get this. Okay, so Paul, tell Will who one of your very good friends is because you're a huge Royals fan.
One of my very good friends.
That pitched for the Royals,
I mean-
Paul.
Oh, sorry. One of my best friends is Danny Duffy
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
from
So,
Lompoc.
so Willie, tell him that connection there.
Yeah, Danny Duffy's dad used to be our basketball coach in high school. Yeah,
Do you
so
know-
we knew Danny Duffy when he was a little kid, little tiny guy,
When he's on the
chasing around
come
his
up.
dad.
Yeah. And now he is coaching. I don't know if it's for Lompoc, but he is helping coach a high school team out there.
Oh, fantastic!
I hope he isn't
This has to
coaching
be the
Lompoc.
most disorganized and probably a huge letdown when I called into your podcast randomly.
No, it's not, because I was talking about this. Like, the whole reason why I called both of you is because my Uncle Sam, which Will knows, you remember Uncle Sam?
Yep.
So my Uncle Sam's a little gruff dude, but he said to me, "Never lose it, kid." And I was like, "What do you mean, Uncle Sam?" He said, "Never lose that light." And so it was about like having fun, having joy in your life, not being so serious, being silly. And Will, if you get a chance, you got to go on LinkedIn and you got to see Paul's last video. Paul, that's the reason why I called you yesterday. This is the most genius video I've ever seen you do. It is the best. Paul, can you explain it to Will?
Will, in short. So first of all, I admire your friendship. I have a best friend that's been in my life since the 5th grade. His name is John Stoner, interestingly enough. And he would be the dude that I talk about, Garbage Pail Kids or WWF or the Royals or anything like that. So the video that Kelly is referencing is me in my neighborhood with the sharpest samurai sword you've ever seen or felt, with a grocery purchase of all the fruits and 2-liter bottles of pop that one could fit in the back of his car, and people throwing me these fruits and things randomly for me to cut through them with this samurai sword. It served absolutely no purpose other than just to showcase that you could have fun and get out of your head. And a couple of fun things that happen, like the mail lady rolls up and she's like, "What the heck?" And we have a full-on conversation, and like, "All your years of delivering mail, is this a first?" So, sometimes you just got to cut through the BS and be present.
So
That's awesome.
It means a lot to me too, Paul, because Will, you and I have been talking about this, and you can let or kind of key Paul into this. We've had conversations about transition out of career and into a new world. And the premise, the reason why I love talking to both of you is because Will's been with me all the way through, and you can talk about this, Will. And Paul is the GOAT. Like, he's the guy who isn't talking about it, he's doing it. So in the keynote realm, this guy is working more than most people ever do. In 1 year, he probably does as much as what some people would do in 10. And he is,
wow.
He's on the circuit. He's doing exactly like all the things that you and I talk about and finding that place. Paul is doing that. And so having him as a mentor has been amazing. But talk to Paul too about that transition, because you've been with me through the whole thing.
Yeah, well, basically, it's just kind of being able to witness the growth. We started out early on, and we went through all the trials and tribulations of childhood and school and all of those things, and the transition into adulthood and kind of finding identity and finding purpose. And yeah, it's just been amazing to see that growth within you, and the trials of changing occupations and entering into a new industry, and finding your place and building a platform and finding an audience you know, it's just been a really, really cool experience to see, Kel, and I'm really proud of what you've been able to accomplish.
Thank you. Hey, Paul, what's been the biggest thing for you? Because you had you transitioned out of corporate America and then you went into what you're doing now, and it wasn't the most traditional of ways. But I want Will to hear this because him and I have talked about it over time. But you know, to hear from you because you're the GOAT. So.
Well, while I greatly appreciate your kind words, Kelly, first and foremost, I could tell why Will is one of your best friends. I wish I had a ton of people like him in my camp, because when you have folks that are supportive and there through the dark times and the light and the bright ones, it goes a long way. It helps you. So to answer your question, man, first gig I ever did was for the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. I was not their preferred choice, but the gentleman that they had reached out to was double booked. And so coincidentally, that speaker referred me. And they paid him, and he gave me just a little cut of that. And so I was basically his outsourced laborer for this speaking engagement. And I did the engagement, and it did not go as great as I thought it should have. But about 2 weeks later, I get a call from a speakers bureau out of Iowa, and she said that somebody had seen me speak before and wanted to book me. Well, knowing that only one audience had ever seen me speak before, I knew where it came from. And we ended up booking that gig together, and she brought 2 other clients to that particular gig called Iowa Turfgrass, and they both wanted to book me. And then it created this tailspin of, you know, work and confidence and connection between the Speakers Bureau and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Angela Cox out of Midwest Speakers Bureau.
That's amazing, man. Hey, I want to go to both of you guys because the thing that's bringing you joy, I mean, Paul, you didn't say enough about the video, but the video, honestly, Will, I'm going to send it to you when we're done. I'll actually send it to you right now as you answer this question to Will. What is one thing, and I think I know what it is, but what is one thing that is bringing you like joy that doesn't have anything to do with anything, and people would sometimes think you're weird because you're doing it, but is just like has shot you over the moon lately, Will?
That I've become friends with the lizards that live in my backyard on my wall, and I hand feed them mealworms that I buy from PetSmart.
Tell the whole story though, man. This is awesome because Paul, Will will send me a video, and it's him, and he's like showing his face, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just about to do it, man." And then he'll walk up to the wall and hold out a mealworm, and this lizard will come and do it, and then he'll just look at me like, "Yeah, I just did that." Bam. But but this has been a journey, Will. How long has this been that you've been working on this?
2 years. You know, a 2-year journey of me earning the trust of wild lizards in my backyard. It's been my own it's been my own National Geographic documentary.
But it's lasted generations. It's lasted generations too.
It all started a couple of years ago. I was on the Peloton in my garage, and it was hot, so I had the side door open in my garage, and this lizard goes kind of wandering by, and I kind of see it. And, you know, every morning, you know, I'd be on Peloton, I'd see this lizard, and I just started wondering, you know, spending all this time on the Peloton, I was like, I wonder if I could feed that lizard. And that's where it all started. That's where the seed was planted right there. I was determined to feed that lizard on the side of my house.
I'm confident. That you're the only person on earth that has ever had that thought, by the way. But keep going.
Okay. So I end up going to PetSmart, and I buy some mealworms, and you know, I start trying to feed it. I'd go out there, and it would always run away, you know. But I started getting it comfortable to my presence, and you know, I'd start tossing it mealworms because it wouldn't let me get close, and it started to eat them. And over time, it probably took like 6 months until I could kind of get close, but it would never allow me to feed it by hand. So this lizard unfortunately met an untimely death. My gardener accidentally ran it over with a lawnmower. And me and my sons had a funeral for it. We buried it in the yard, and we were a little bummed out. But this lizard had babies, and the young ones actually lived in the backyard. And so I decided to carry on my mission to hand feed lizards, and it took, the culmination of 2 years of efforts finally bared fruit about a month and a half ago when I finally started being able to feed them by hand. So my kids think it's hilarious. My neighbors think it's insane. And I send videos to my friends all the time of me hand feeding these lizards, and I'm sure they think I'm insane, but it's been awesome. I did.
The lizard king.
Paul, what are you doing right now that like, I mean, besides chopping up fruit in your in your driveway and in the street, the run back and forth with the sword like Shinobi was my favorite. Will, you have to see this. It is absolutely genius. It is, I think, Paul, it connected me with you more than anything you've ever said. Like, honestly, that if being a company, I would just want to hire you to speak just because that video. Like, it is the best. So what are you doing right now that's doesn't mean anything, that's bringing you joy?
Well, I'd like to talk with you a little bit more about the mental process to post that video sometime, whether it's today or later.
Tell us now. Tell us now. Tell it.
Well, first and foremost, brother, like, you shine an immense light on me to start this whole thing off, talking about how busy I am and the GOAT, and I'm doing it. And while I'm definitely not the GOAT, historically, I've been blessed. I hit the ground running, and I've been blessed and lucky and
hey, Mr. Humble,
Right.
Tell them how many speaking engagements did you do last year?
Last year was it was down from the previous year, but revenue was up due to an increase in fee. But last year was around between 60 and 70.
Okay.
But Mr. Humble, the reason why I say all that now is because this business, like everything in life, is cyclical. And Kelly, one of the reasons why we've been playing phone tag, brother, is this year it hasn't been great. It was my worst quarter on record, first quarter. Summer is always relatively slow. And so as a result, what happens to the human spirit when you don't lean into faith? And even when you do, you start to have some self-doubt, and you start to ask yourself questions like, why isn't this happening? And what is wrong with me? And all of these things, right?
Yeah.
And so I have spent a mint over the course of the last couple months in a new website, new speakers reel, new assets, rebranding. And it's been an 8-month process of recreating all this stuff and creating new content. And through the whole process, Kelly, I've leaned into this concept of fun, but in the same vein, I've often thought that maybe that word or how I showed up or some of the content that I've done historically has hindered my credibility in the speaker's realm. Because if you see a video like you're referencing, this dude with a samurai sword chopping up fruit for no reason whatsoever, and running back and forth with his shirt unbuttoned, who knows, you might think to yourself, like, what does this have to do with business? And so through this rebrand, I think I started trying to conform a little more to what I thought organizations and speakers bureaus wanted from me, as opposed to really leaning in and understanding and accepting that this authenticity is my differentiator. So I have this really vulnerable moment on this. I'm working with a speaker manager by the name of Donna, and she has a stable of speakers. There's 7 or 8 of them, and we have a quarterly call. And so we're on this call and we're talking about the.
Oh, I think I lost you.
From this group.
Keep going.
I hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
good. Yeah, so we still got you.
So I'm on this call, and the consensus in social media is it adds value, but it doesn't necessarily get you booked. And so then I expressed a little bit of vulnerability and said, you know what I want my social media to be? I don't want it to be selling gigs or me constantly talking about the audience that I just spoke with. I want it to be fun. Like, I want to get back to my roots. I want to get back to doing things that make me smile. And so this dude by the name of Jason Lawrence, and another speaker, he goes, Paul, you know the Paul that I love most? The one that you just referenced? The one that just has fun, that just shows up and makes himself smile and others smile? He said, go do the hell out of you. And so that day, I found that video and posted it. And can I tell you that I had more engagement on that video in IG and LinkedIn combined in 1 hour than I had in any other singular post all year long.
Hey, Willie.
Yeah.
You've been through this with me, this process, right? And the conforming, and you've given me a lot of great counsel in this. When you hear that, like when you hear that part of it, I just sent you the video, by the way, on LinkedIn. When you hear that, what it like from your standpoint, because you're not in our when I say I almost don't put myself in Paul's world. Paul is like 60 or 70, and that's a down year engagements last year. This is Paul. I want you to understand that is unreal, man. It's phenomenal. When you hear that, Will, as far as the, wanting to, maybe conform, because we've talked about this, conform to what the people want as opposed to just being yourself. What does it bring to mind with you?
Yeah, I think that's, a pretty common feeling that is part of the human condition. We live in a society that kind of encourages conformity, and, a lot of times that pressure kind of goes against, one's ability to express themselves fully and truly embrace, who they are at the core of their being. And, I've always encouraged you to, continue to stand out. That's something from for as long as I've known you, you've always been a unique character and, a special person. And, I've always wanted to encourage you to, remain independent.
Yeah.
And, not fall in line and not, necessarily join the rat race, kind of remain a maverick. That's what I would describe it. Because you've kind of been a maverick in the, not only in your early on in your career, when you were in the hair industry, you always were unique. You've always been able to carve out a space for yourself where you were able to, be authentic and be your unique self. And I've always appreciated that. And as you've kind of entered this new realm, that's something that I've always tried to encourage, because I think sometimes when you're entering a new space that's unfamiliar, you may not know the vernacular. You may not know the right people to speak to. You may not know the rules in which, people in this space abide. Everyone's swimming in the same direction. And a lot of times I think that the initial feeling that we have as humans is to kind of go along with that. I'm nervous. I'm new here. Maybe I should, maybe do what everyone else is doing. And, that's why I've always was really big on just reminding you, dude, you're Kelly.
I appreciate
yourself,
it.
and that's always good. And you're going to find the audience. The audience is out there. you're going to find that audience. You don't need to change. You don't need to conform to try to, create a following. You just need to be yourself and they'll find you.
Wow. Well, Paul, I want to tell you, I want to compliment you, and thank you, Will. I want to compliment you on this, man, because I tell you, and that's literally why I called you yesterday, Paul. And I left that message, and I wasn't going to leave it as a message because I wanted you to hear my voice. And that celebration that I was telling you about was that I got to see Paul, I truly got to see Paul for the first time on social media. And I encourage it. And I was jumping. I was walking at my son's practice, and I saw the video, and I was like, dude, this is genius, absolute genius, because for me, it wasn't something that you were doing for clicks. It wasn't something that you were leading. It just was you. And man, my hat's off to you.
Well, thanks, man. I've struggled with it, and I appreciate the praise and also the motivation to continue. I will. I'll tell you one last thing, brother. So,
yeah.
I really want to connect with you sometime about my most recent faith journey. But a year and a half ago, I was at the Gaylord in Grapevine, Texas, huge hotel and property. And I was doing an event for a company called Brand Source for another speakers bureau. And they had me doing a workout. So I was in a room. It was called the San Antonio room. It was a smaller room. And it was optional whether people wanted to come. And there was multiple concurrent sessions going on at once. In between my sessions, I went over to the Texas ballrooms, A and B, and it was just this enormous, the most gorgeous stage you've ever seen. And I remember saying to myself, I want to be on that. I should be on that stage. And fast forward a year and a half later to today, I filmed the final part of my speaker reel on that exact stage in front of 1,400 dental hygienists with the best energy, love, and vibe that anybody could ever ask for. So in closing, manifestation is real. And part of it is just believing you can and committing to trying.
Well, Paul, I know that your time is valuable, and but I do want to say this as you go is Paul was a conversation that I had that shifted, and that's the reason why the book got rebranded as The Vibe. The podcast got rebranded as The Vibe, because he said something very quickly to me. He just said, "You are a vibe. Have you ever thought about that?" And I said, "Well, did you know that the second chapter in my book is called Vibe?" And that's the whole reason for the rebrand, is because of Paul. So I appreciate you, Paul, more than you know, and get back to doing what you're doing, brother. I know you're driving, but I love you. Stay with me, Will.
All right, fellas. It was a pleasure meeting you, Will. Keep up.
Hey,
your
likewise,
support.
Paul.
I hope he's supporting you as much as you're supporting him.
100%, man.
All right, love you guys. Talk soon.
Love you too,
Later.
buddy. All right. Willie, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because I had a conversation with Paul, and he really encouraged me in it, and to see, I'm not saying that I want to do what he does. I'm just saying that it's so cool to be around somebody who is in that space. And you can imagine, 60 to 70 speaking engagements a year. You do the math on that, man. It's 5 to 6 a month.
That's work. That's a lot. That's a grind. That's awesome.
That's getting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
It's amazing. It is incredible, man.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What else are you going to do today that's going to bring you joy, brother?
Just hanging out with my sons. That's it, man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of laying low. The weather's not too great. Maybe we'll go watch Superman.
Ooh.
I'm not sure.
What's Daxie into right now? Is he still into his twerking doll?
Right now it's dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
You know, because the Jurassic Park movie, but in 2 weeks
Oh.
it'll be something else.
Okay. Daxie is, dude, that kid is when he just skipped the line, which is one of those things, right? It's like I was telling Maddox, I was like, look, that type of mentality, that type of heart. I mean, that line was so long and was going to take a long period of time. And when he walked up, he just walked literally right to the front, didn't even have any thought in his brain that he wasn't going to, and just handle business.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he sure did.
That kind of joy, man.
Yeah, he
is incredible.
he has confidence, man, and he has the kind of confidence that grows when like he has he has support and onlookers. Like I love it. He's a funny guy, but he is just so genuine in his intent. Like if he puts his mind into something, he's gonna do it. And it's been fun to kind of watch that part of him develop.
You know what I didn't give him a hard time about, Paul is a big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Oh man,
we should have brought that up.
We should have.
Have you rubbed?
That's a whole separate podcast.
Have you rubbed people's nose in it though? Because that was a beatdown. Like
that was a smashing.
I mean, a beat, and I've never seen you as conservative as you were because when we did the podcast with you and Dave.
Yeah.
And you guys were back and forth and stuff like that. And you were like, oh, it's going to, we're going to win by a few points. And then we talked afterwards and you were like, no, I knew it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I knew we were going to smash them. I just didn't want to jinx it with overconfidence. But I knew it. My gut. I was like, our defense is going to put them under so much pressure. Like they're not going to know what's happening.
It was,
and
it was unbelievable.
It was such a one-sided game, and it was like to be on the winning side of that, just to watch the absolute domination. Like it was a special feeling. I've had the opportunity to see us win a Super Bowl one other time.
Yeah.
And like that one wasn't as gratifying as this one.
Yeah. Well, what scared me was that first offensive pass interference call.
Yeah.
That's what scared me because I was like, oh man, this is the way but it's almost like
is it gonna be one of those games?
Yeah.
I had that same feeling.
But it's almost like it turned you guys on. Like it turned you on and it turned you to a place of like, no, we're going to show and leave nothing to chance. We're going to leave no question and we're going to stomp a mud hole. That was nuts, man.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Refs can't impact an ass beating.
Do you see any parity coming in the coming year?
I think there will be some in some divisions, but I just think the top teams are going to continue to be dominant. I think there is a lot of parity, but I think that the elite teams are going to continue to be elite, and I think that everyone else is going to be fighting for scraps.
Yeah. How about NBA? Do you give any thought at all to where they're talking that LeBron is going to get traded to the Dallas Mavericks?
Ooh, this is a tough subject because I'm an appreciator of LeBron James and his contribution to the sport and his consistency and longevity and being great.
Well, no one can
but
argue that.
I am not a fan. Yeah, but I'm not a fan of LeBron the brand.
Yeah.
And that's more of what he is to me now. He's more of a brand than, a baller. And I think if I were the Lakers, I would absolutely trade him because I think he's at a point where he's not going to continue to add the kind of value that makes you forget about the circus that he brings every day to the facility.
Yeah.
Because you have LeBron the player, You have LeBron, obviously the brand. You have LeBron, the media conglomerate. You have LeBron, the sports and entertainment representation agency owner. You have LeBron James, with his hand in media. And it's just this huge machine that kind of distracts from the game, in my opinion. And, he's on the latter half. You have Luka. You have a need to add more young talent. If you can leverage LeBron and his son and his conglomerate and his brand and his family and everything else that comes with him, and you can trade all of that to someone else, even if you don't get much back for it, you do it.
Yeah.
And have a fresh start with Luka.
I believe it. Because they were talking about, I saw the rumors of a trade of like PJ Tucker, Klay Thompson. I think there was a maybe one other one and some picks, and LeBron would come. And I was like, I'm just, I don't know. Here's another subject. You've sent me a couple of videos on it. But the impact of SGA winning not only the championship, but also the MVP.
Well, the first thing I'll say about SGA is that the internet is undefeated, and how he is portrayed on social media with just all the random people, kind of mimicking his ability to always draw fouls.
Yeah.
Are so hilarious and so incredible and so on point. But I appreciate his game. Obviously he had an MVP worthy season.
Yeah.
But that team, for as good as they are, they don't. I'm not excited. I'm not excited by the Thunder. I'm just not.
I think obviously the people there in Oklahoma are very excited about it and stuff like that.
Oh yes, as they should be. Like they almost have a burgeoning dynasty here.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think it would be bad for the league if it happened.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Oklahoma City.
I don't like like what you were talking about. I don't like the whipping the head back and the throw the one video that you sent to me on TikTok was exact. I even noticed, I went to a high school football or basketball game. This has been a year and a half ago. I went, and dude, the kids on the basketball team were throwing their head back, trying to draw the foul. And my daughter said, that guy should be in drama with me.
Yeah.
Like he should be in theater. That's what she said to me. And she doesn't know basketball, but that's what she was talking about. And so I think that it's, a silly thing. What do you think about Giannis to the Warriors?
If that were to occur, I would love that. I think that it's the end of the road in Milwaukee. Obviously, they haven't been able to build around him to the level where they could get back to another, finals. I don't see him having any opportunity to win another title if he remained there.
Okay.
And in all honesty, I think for the Bucks to get better, you don't back the Brinks truck up to Giannis's house. You trade him so that you can, get younger talent, get younger, rebuild. I think that the Giannis era, is coming to a close. And if he went to Golden State, that would be fantastic, because I'd love for them to make one more legitimate run.
Yeah.
Before they go off into the sunset.
I think that would be good. What do you think about KD to the Rockets?
I think if this was 30-year-old KD, I'd be like, ooh, this is something. But, he could still score, but it's not the same. Houston is a pretty incredibly talented young team. But KD is not going to be, the number one in that offense.
Yeah.
At his age. And I want to see how he handles that. I want to see how Houston handles. I want to see how the coach handles that. Is he ready to be the third option in Houston? Because there's, 22-year-old dudes that are talented that, are kind of the leaders of that team and that offense. I'm really curious to see how that plays out. KD's he's not like a bad teammate. I just think that it'd be interesting to see if KD can embrace the player he is now,
Yeah.
or if he's going to still kind of think that he's that dude from 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I think I stand on it, and I know people told me that I was crazy during the time, because this was during the exit of the Warriors, when he was exiting the Warriors, even during the time. And I said that one of my friends was like, he mentioned KD and then he said superstar. And I said, I don't believe that KD is a superstar. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you think about it, KD never wins a championship without going to the Warriors, and the Warriors having the humility that they did to be able to allow him to be that option. That was designed, and it was allowed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, at 100%.
And also, then he goes to Brooklyn. He basically gets the pick of the litter. I said it at that point. Number one, he wasn't a superstar. Number two, he was never going to win a championship again. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you're crazy," and all this stuff. And then you look at what happened to Brooklyn, and you look at the culture, and then you go to Phoenix Suns, and you look at the culture, and same thing. So it's just been, for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would be different if I met him, if I met him and I was like, oh man. And I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just saying generally where he goes, the franchise doesn't do well.
Yeah. I saw him on Letterman on his Netflix show.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he's super smart. He's really insightful.
Yeah.
He has a very interesting view of the world and of basketball. He seems like a really, really cool dude. But what I will say about him is he's kind of a superstar level talented mercenary.
Got it.
Like, he's never going to truly kind of be able to meld into any team. Like, he's always kind of he's a vibe changer, and not necessarily in a good way when it comes to basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I'm questioning the when he goes to the Rockets, because they're a young team. They've got an identity, a defensive, scrappy, and for me, it didn't really make sense. But, if you could get KD, you go get him. As much as I don't like Dillon Brooks, I don't like him at all. I don't like to play against. I don't like to play against him, because as a defender, I wouldn't have given up. Not to say Dillon Brooks or KD. I mean, obviously that's an easy choice, but I just think that you stick with your youth, your identity, all those things in the Rockets. I think that this is going to stifle them.
I think so too. I think it can. Well, I think that's definitely a possibility for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we're watching for, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to watch play out. That's what makes, this signing interesting. That's going to make, the season for Houston very interesting. And I think that I'm going to pay closer attention because, of the potential, the potential drama here. Like, is it going to work out? Like, what KD are we getting? Are we going to get one that's kind of like, you know what? I'm 38. I'm the third option, and I'm going to help mentor and lead these young guys. And I'm going to be a facilitator. I'm not going to demand the ball all the time, because this isn't my team.
Yeah.
I'm a member of it. Whereas, in all of his previous iterations and stops, he was the guy.
Yeah.
He's never had to not be the guy. Even when he came to Phoenix, he was still kind of the guy, although he really wasn't.
Yeah.
Phoenix has their superstar.
And I like Devin Booker. I mean, I like him. I just don't know who you put around him. I think that what I am excited about, I am excited about the league where you're starting to see like having a dominant big man is a thing, right? I enjoy that part of basketball. I really do. Even though it's going to be positionless, things like that. I think it's good. But switch up. You and I had a conversation, and we were both shocked by, I don't know what to call it nowadays, whether it be a album, a CD, a download, but Arrested Development came out with adult contemporary hip hop, and you listened to it before I listened to it. What was your take on it?
I was surprised. I was surprised by the sound because it wasn't the sound I was expecting. You know, my image of Arrested Development and, you know, knowing their music and seeing them in concert and being very familiar with them, you know, they have a very specific sound. And when that first track came on, like, it blew my mind. I was like, who is this? Yeah, it just didn't sound like Arrested Development that I was familiar with. And I was intrigued. And I was amazed by, you know, the lyrics.
Yeah.
And the beats. And it was just a very modern sound that I was really with. It was a little more lyrical. It was a little more boom bap in the beats. And, you know, it just had that sound that I love hip hop, that made me love hip hop. You know, yeah, I really liked it. What was your thoughts?
I thought it was really cool because what I loved was it wasn't one cadence of lyricist, right? So a lot of times you'll see a lyricist, and that's the reason why, I mean, you and I go back and forth as far as sending each other the memes of Little Dicky. And what I love about his stuff when he's just going, he's changing up cadence even inside of the same verses, right? And so he's not sticking with the exact same one all the time. He's able to move in and out of it. But if you look at most MCs, they have a cadence, and if you took their voice out of it and you heard the cadence, you could tell who that MC was, right?
Yep.
This one shocked me because the first track, as we both agreed, sounded like who?
MF Doom.
Yeah, it had it, but this was the cool thing. It wasn't. There's times where people try and copy it. It wasn't that. It almost, I think, and I don't know if this is going to, I mean, I'd like to hear more from more fans, but I think it was able to capture an MF Doom fan.
Yes.
Because that's a specific fan, right?
Yeah. 100%.
And then there's,
you know what? I have met very few MF Doom fans my own age.
Yeah.
But what is hilarious to me is that, you know, all of my friends marvel at the fact that their sons listen to MF Doom.
Yeah.
You know, I've received calls and texts, you know, like one day Rob texts me and he's like, dude, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, what? He's like, Cam's into MF Doom. I was like, see? See, dude?
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
Dale called me at midnight one night saying, dude, why is it that everyone under the age of 25 knows who MF Doom is? I was like, because that's just how it works.
That's wild.
But I was a fan early on. And, you know, I got a lot of grief for it. And
still do.
You know, I still do. I'm asked to change the music, turn that off
every time. But that's the thing with Arrested Development. When I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought, oh, wow. And then I thought, okay, well, this is the cadence for the album. But then it went from track to track. And it was like, it was all, for me, it was all real hip hop. You had great beats. You had not only great lyrics, because some people do wordplay well, but there's not a lot of substance to what they're saying. And this will come as a very unpopular opinion that I don't think that I've ever shared with you. Like say for instance, example, Method Man. Method Man's cadence, his lyrics are amazing, but as far as the amount of depth in the lyrics themselves, at times he has them, but not always. It's more of a wordplay and creative lyrics, in my opinion, that I've heard. Like when you look at that cipher with him and Black Thought next to each other, it was like I wanted to listen to Method Man because his wordplay was unbelievable, his voice, his cadence, everything like that. But then Black Thought almost like it was like Method Man entertained me and Black Thought educated me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like the perfect contrast. Oh yeah.
And that's not to take anything, because Method Man is one of my, I mean, definitely one of my favorites. But if you really look at the lyrical content, it's not as much of a storytelling guy.
Say that again, Kel?
I said, if you look at the lyrical content, like I'm a huge fan of Method Man, but if you look at just the lyrical content, he's not as much a storyteller as he is an entertainer.
Yeah, it's how he says things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes him amazing.
Yeah.
It's how he expresses himself, the sound of it.
Yeah.
And kind of his expressions. And when you see him, it's how his body moves too.
Yeah. And so
Kind of like Busta Rhymes.
Absolutely. And so with Arrested Development, with the adult contemporary hip hop, like when I was listening to that, as I went through all the tracks, it was like there was a different cadence almost in every song. There was, little secrets inside of the music too that I saw. There was, just quick little quips as far as in the lyrical side, telling stories that I was like, oh my gosh, I have to rewind that because I need to scrub back or whatever you call it today, because I want to hear that again. Does that make sense?
It does. And it definitely came off that way. And yeah, my mind is blown because, they were always kind of folksy and more lyrical as like singing.
Yeah. And
to hear them just come out, in this way was amazing.
You know what's cool too is you remember we were talking about, you were asking who was Configa, right? So his last name is Laidlaw, and he's one of the producers of the album. And so he works with Arrested Development, works with Speech, whatever it is. I actually reached out to Configa on Instagram and just told him, I said, I just want to compliment you because it's absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to have you on the podcast. So he's going to come on too.
That's awesome. I'd love to hear, the elements of what they were putting together, what their thought process was in putting this album together, because it was my mind is still blown, man. Like I'm telling you, like it really impacted me. I wasn't expecting them to be hitting that hard.
The last time that I had this type of surprise, because I was surprised too. Like I was a fan of Arrested Development early on, loved it. But again, like you were saying, the folksy, it was almost more of the hook, right? When you think of Tennessee, or you think of Mr. Wendell or Everyday People, you thought about the hook. You didn't think as much about the lyrical content. But I was surprised in this. The last time I was surprised like that was when Justin Timberlake went solo for the first time. Because at the time I was dating a girl who was a huge NSYNC fan, which was one of the most embarrassing things at the time, right? And then when he came out solo and people were like, oh my gosh, you have to get the Justin Timberlake CD. I was like, you're crazy. And then one of my buddies was like, no, guys are bumping JT, like Justin Timberlake in the hood. And I was like, there's no way. And then I listened to it and I was like, I am hugely mistaken. So that type of surprise, that type of surprise for me was, hasn't happened since that album itself.
And one thing I'll add to that is that Pharrell killed it on that album.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he started a whole new, you think about it, he started a whole new genre.
He did. And, about a week ago or so, if you recall, I was like, hey man, that new Clips album, just came out and it's really good. And Pharrell like produced that entire thing, and it like Pharrell is back. Like my son, you know, he says I like unk music, but unk music's about to have its renaissance like right now.
Well, I'm excited.
Like,
I haven't heard.
Man,
I haven't heard the Clips one. I definitely want to listen to that one.
definitely, it's one of those albums where you can just play it on repeat. Like every song is good, and that's saying something because I haven't felt that way about a hip hop album in a long time.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to listen. I appreciate you, man. I've got to run. I'm going to get Maddox moving. I think we might go golfing today or something like that. Go hit some balls. He got done with Hell Week for tackle football, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man. How'd he do?
He did good. He's having fun. They had him at offensive tackle yesterday, which is great. He's super excited about that. And, you know, he's having fun, man. He's like drinking a gallon of water a day. He wants to have, you know, he's all about, I mean, it's just seeing a man, like, you know, you're seeing that with Gavin, like you start to see them take that responsibility. And, you know, with Gavin, with riding wheelies the way that he is, like, it just gives him a sense of confidence that is so cool to see.
Yeah, you're right, man. It is. It's been a joy to watch.
It's amazing, man. It's incredible. So, well, I'll give you a call. I'll probably give you a call later. But I appreciate you. I love you. And thanks for staying on with me.
You got it, man. Love you too, man.
Okay.
Good chat.
All right. Love you, man.
Talk to you later.
All right. Peace.
Love you too. Peace.
See, that's another episode of You Have to Meet My Friends. And it's crazy because that was my buddy Will, who I've been best friends with since I was in 4th grade. You know, what I would suggest to you is make a ton of friends. And be an even greater one. And I tell you, it makes life blossom in a whole different manner. Check out the new album by Arrested Development, which is adult contemporary hip hop. Cheer for the Warriors, cheer for the Titans, and be a great friend. Have a wonderful day. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised.